January the 1st, a new year, time to put your best foot forward and set some goals. Except, you will need to be careful, because some New Year's resolutions are plain and simply a bad idea, almost impossible to stick to. Coming up, here are some of the worst. For some reason, a lot of us cyclists feel that we should start running in the winter, and it might be a good idea. But while I would like to say that it wouldn't do you any harm, it might. Because the trouble is, as bike riders, it's almost instilled in us that any exercise lasting less than an hour just simply isn't worth doing. So we duly dust off our trainers, head out the door, and then can't walk, let alone run, for the rest of the week. So if you do decide that you want to start running, do it slowly. Begin with just 15 minutes of running at a time. You will be amazed at what you can achieve in that short space of time. Plus, you will quickly see progression. And then hopefully see the light that actually bike riding was better all along. Riding with faster riders. This one sounds good. It's a recipe for making you faster. Eventually, perhaps, or actually all that pain and suffering inflicted on you may well just make you sell all your cycling kit on eBay, because the enjoyment of riding has now gone. So, how do you do it? Balance. Some rides you can do with people faster than you, others you want to do with people of a similar ability. Some perhaps you want to do on your own. The key is to set goals that are achievable for you, because it's all very well trying to ride with faster riders, but you're not going to get fitter if you've actually just been dropped. Toughen up. There's no such thing as bad weather, only bad equipment. Your New Year's resolution is to ride day in, day out, no matter what the elements throw at you. And yes, you will probably get stronger, but can you do it beyond the 4th week in January? Yes, it's a tough one. Riding in wet weather is probably inevitable, but day in, day out, it can start to sap your enthusiasm. So you could hibernate and spend all winter on the indoor trainer, but actually, why not mix things up a little bit? If you do shorter, harder rides in wet weather, you will stay warmer, get fitter, and crucially, come home sooner. Plus, throw in a bit of off-road riding as well, maybe dabble in cyclocross, and that too can also be fun, because if you go out the door expecting to get wet and muddy, it's not so bad. Oh, and the last point, Lloydie doesn't think it's that bad being a fair weather cyclist either. And if you live in California, I'm inclined to agree. Everesting. You know what that is? Think it's Dan's style of training, do you? Everesting. Yeah, see what you did there. No, not even close, actually. Everesting is where a cyclist has to climb the equivalent height of Mount Everest, or 8,848 meters of it, in a single day, in a single ride, on a single climb. Up and down, and up and down, and so on. Now, a cool fact, it was actually invented by the grandson of George Mallory, the famous mountaineer, himself actually, called George as well, who rode up and down a 1,069 metre climb 8 times, and a challenge was born. In fact, it's even got its own website. And undoubtedly, it's an amazing achievement, brutally hard, but also quite restrictive. So why not do it on different climbs? In fact, here's a new challenge for you. Climbing the equivalent height of Mount Everest without repeating a single climb. Oh yeah, now that's something I could sign up for. Maybe just not a New Year's resolution though. A press up for each and every day. Now we include this because weirdly it was something that Lloydie actually attempted a few years ago. You do 1 press up and 1 sit up on January the 1st, something he achieved. You then do 2 on January the 2nd, 3 on January the 3rd, and so on. And to be fair to the lad, he lasted until mid-April. But by that point, the toll of having to do over 100 of each on every single day took its, well, toll, and he cracked. Plus, he also sustained an arm injury. Worse than that though, his arms still hadn't got any bigger at all. But then even worse than that, had they got bigger, he actually wouldn't have been as good on his bike. So really, Dan, what was the point in that? One resolution that many of us will try to make is to give up something or things that we think is bad for us. So alcohol could be one example, fast food as another, chocolate, cake even, dare I say it. Now, whilst giving those things up may well make us a little bit healthier, is it realistic? Probably not, No. Who would want, after all, to give up something that might make you a little bit happier in January, which could well be one of the bleakest months of the year? In fact, that's a good point actually. We should probably try making resolutions in June when we're more likely to stick to them. Or indeed, just go to the Southern Hemisphere. Let us know in the comment section if you live in the Southern Hemisphere and in fact you find New Year's resolutions easier to stick to because it's sunny. Anyway, back to the original point. Rather than giving things up entirely, why not just have them in moderation? Probably healthier for you overall. Think of things as treats instead of just an everyday staple. Cadence, or how fast you pedal when cycling, is one of those cycling topics that's always weirdly controversial. You can blame Lance Armstrong for it. You can blame him for many things actually, but for this case, it's because of his superhuman FTP, which meant that he had to spin a really fast cadence. But then that was something that we were all encouraged to copy. And the trouble is, pedaling dynamics isn't that simple. Far from it, in fact. And so while it might sound like a good idea to focus this year on pedaling a little bit quicker, it may well not be. It might be a bit of a waste of time. Ride miles this year. Now, a target of how much you want to ride this year could be a really positive thing. But try and move away from attributing quality to miles or kilometers. Because some of the very best rides can also be slow rides where you might not do very many miles. It may be because you're labouring through the Alps up epic climbs, or maybe because you're riding gravel instead of tarmac. Or maybe actually it's not a slow ride at all, it's a really fast ride but just shorter, like you've raced a criterium instead of doing your local club run. Plus, there's a very real risk that just cranking out kilometres could well just make you a little bit tired and more than likely a little bit slow. So try to move away from measuring the quality of your rides in kilometres or miles and instead try and think of a currency based around fun. Smiles instead of miles. There you go. You can have that for free. So there are the 8 New Year's resolutions we think you should avoid. Make sure you let us know in the comments section if there are any others that you would red flag, but also let us know if there are any New Year's resolutions that have actually worked for you. Have they revolutionised your cycling, or indeed have they changed your life? Really would love to read those, so make sure you get stuck in the comment section down below. Also, give this video a big thumbs up, and if you would like to watch another one, what about weird things that pro cyclists do? That one is just on screen now.